All right, let's get right into it. The world of work, it's changing so fast, right? And trying to pick a career that's actually going to lead to a stable, high-paying future, it can feel like you're walking through a minefield. So what we're going to do here is cut through all that noise and really pinpoint the jobs that have some serious earning potential as we head towards 2026. This quote just hits so hard because it captures that anxiety that I think a lot of us feel. One day, you're absolutely essential to the team, and the next, you could just be a number, a cost that needs to be cut. That feeling of uncertainty, that's exactly why we have to be smart and really strategic about the skills we're building for what's coming next. So we hear this term all the time, right? A job crisis. But here's the thing, that's not really the full picture. It's not that there's a shortage of jobs out there. It's that there's a shortage of people who have the right skills for the jobs that are actually opening up. So it's not a job crisis, it's a skills crisis. And if you need proof, just look at this number from the World Economic Forum. It is wild. 63%. That means 63 out of every 100 workers in India are going to need to be retrained just to stay relevant. This just hammers home a really critical point. If your skills are generic, you're replaceable. But if you're a specialist, you can basically write your own ticket. Okay, so where do you find that kind of specialization? Well, let's start with the absolute biggest game changer of our lifetime, the AI and data revolution. This is where you're going to find some of the most in-demand and, some of the highest-paying jobs on the planet right now. And right at the very top of that list, you've got your AI and machine learning engineers. These are the folks who are literally building the smart systems that are reshaping everything. We're talking about the chatbots you argue with online, all the way to the incredibly complex algorithms that make self-driving cars possible. They are, no exaggeration, the architects of our intelligent future. And because they're in such high demand, the pay is just off the charts. We're talking about senior AI researchers at top-tier companies in India, places like Google DeepMind or Tesla, earning over 1 crore per year. And no, that is not a typo. That's the kind of money companies are throwing at elite, specialized talent in this space. Of course, to get a salary like that, you need a very specific set of skills. You've got to have a rock-solid foundation in programming languages, especially Python. It's basically the native language of AI. You also have to master machine learning frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch, and you absolutely need expertise in things like deep learning and cloud platforms to actually build and scale these massive systems. These are the tools of the modern digital trade. Now, working side by side with those AI engineers are the data scientists. I love this analogy. If an AI engineer builds the engine, the data scientist provides the fuel and the roadmap. They're the interpreters who can stare into these huge, messy piles of data and pull out the golden nuggets, the key insights that can guide billion-dollar business decisions. And look, the earning potential is right up there with AI engineers. A senior data scientist in India can easily pull in over 50 lakhs a year. The market pays a huge premium for people who can turn raw data into real value. But all this AI and all this data, it needs a powerful foundation to actually run on. And that brings us to the architects of our digital world. Right, so all of this incredible AI and data crunching, it doesn't just happen in thin air. It runs on a massive, unbelievably complex digital infrastructure. And it turns out, the people who build and protect that world are also in ridiculously high demand. So you gotta ask, right? Who are these people? Who are the ones in the background making sure our apps don't crash, that our data is safe, and that these systems can handle millions of users all at once? Well, a key role here is the cloud architect. Think about it. Almost every company on Earth is moving its operations to the cloud. These are the experts who design that entire strategy. They're the ones making sure the digital backbone of a company is not just working, but that it's also scalable, secure, and importantly, not wasting a ton of money. And check this out. This is a huge hint for anyone looking to get into this field. Amazon Web Services, AWS, holds about 32% of the cloud market in India. That dominance means that becoming a specialist in AWS is a seriously smart career move because a massive chunk of the entire industry is already built on their platform. And the salaries for these kinds of jobs, they're incredible. A senior cloud architect can pull in up to 50 lakhs. A DevOps engineer, they're the ones who automate everything and keep it all running smoothly, can earn even more. But look at this. A top-notch cybersecurity specialist, the person protecting all this valuable data from hackers, can command salaries of 70 lakhs or even higher. They are the guardians of our digital universe. Okay, so we've talked about the techies, right?
the builders and the protectors of the digital world. But there's another whole category of high-paying jobs where the stakes are just as high, but it's more about strategy, finance, and making incredibly high-pressure decisions.
First up, management consultants. Think of them as the elite problem solvers. When a CEO has a huge problem they can't figure out on their own, these are the people they call. We're talking massive, company-altering questions, like should we enter a whole new continent? Or how do we completely restructure our business? And the career path at the top firms, what they call MBB for McKinsey, BCG, and Bain, is just a rocket ship. You can start as an associate making 30 to 40 lakhs, and just a few years later, you could climb to partner, earning over 2 crores a year. It's a crazy high-pressure but unbelievably high-reward world. And in that same high-stakes universe, you have investment bankers. These are the architects of finance. They're structuring those multi-thousand crore deals you read about, raising huge amounts of money for big companies. It's an incredibly demanding job, but new graduates from top schools can walk into starting salaries of 30 to 45 lakhs. All right, now for a role with a totally different kind of pressure. Becoming a commercial pilot, it's the definition of high risk, high reward. And that risk starts right at the beginning with the investment. The total cost to get trained, including getting certified on a specific type of plane, can be as high as 75 lakhs. But just look at the payoff. An experienced captain flying in India can earn between 10 to 15 lakhs per month. It makes sense, right? When you're responsible for hundreds of human lives and a machine worth hundreds of crores, the pay has to reflect that immense responsibility. So we've seen all these amazing salaries and really fascinating jobs. But the big question is, how do you actually get one? What's the practical step-by-step roadmap to actually landing one of these top-tier positions? Okay, so here it is. This is your roadmap. Number 1, get those certifications. An AWS cert, a CISA in cybersecurity, that's your proof. 2, and this is maybe the most important, specialize. Remember, specialists get paid, generalists get replaced. 3, build stuff. A portfolio of real-world projects you've actually built speaks so much louder than any resume. 4, network like your career depends on it, because it does. And finally, number 5, master a niche. Become the go-to person in one specific area. You know, this quote just nails it. It really sums up the entire strategy. The whole point is to put yourself in a field where demand is high and the supply of talent is low. You want to be the person that companies are fighting to hire, not one of 1,000 people fighting for a single job.
And that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. The path is clear, the skills are all learnable, the demand is definitely there. So 5 years from now, are you going to be the person who made a decision today and landed that 50 lakh package? Or are you going to be still scrolling, wondering how other people got all the opportunities you missed? The choice really does start right now.